Now that we've covered the meat and potatoes of our glute training, it's time to address some of the icing with the cherry on top. These are our isolation exercises. Split squats, our hip thrusts, RDLs, squats, all of that needs to be done on a weekly basis. These are some ones you can rotate in as well. I like these a lot because you can kind of feel the muscle a bit more. First thing we're going to talk about, single leg RDLs. Now, I like to do this with one dumbbell in one hand. Opposite arm is going to be for balance. So picking the leg set here, and essentially just like your RDL, hinge at the hips, and this back leg is going to go out straight. So the side that is you're standing on, the side that's doing all the work. Let's show that from the side. Now, I really like these a lot because with that single leg balance, single leg stance, the glute med has to work a lot to not let the just drop. So keeping you upright in this position like so versus here, but at the same time, we're also getting that eccentric stretch of the glute, traction there. Another great option is also the B stance, kind of having a staggered stance here. Again, doing an RDL like so. This is kind of the progression for doing this true single leg stance, doing a B stance like so. And that allow you to stretch on the glute one leg at a time. With these, I like having some kind of weight because I feel kind of awkward in front of balance. I don't have any weight, but if you're just beginning with them, having something to hold on to begin with, perfectly fine. Like so. Because split squats are so fantastic, I'd be remiss if we could cover them one more time. So, most optimal, having a machine like this in your gym. In my previous video, you saw me set it up on the Smith machine. Having this nice pad here that your foot can actually rotate around. So, setting up the barbell pad on a barbell, rack, or on Smith machine is great. But from here, the easiest way to set it up, you're going to sit here, you're going to kick one leg all the way out straight. You're going to stand up from there, put this foot back. So you can kind of play around. For me, I like having this foot a little bit closer. It feels a little more comfortable for me. Again, more quad bias. It's going to be a little more upright, more glute. You're leaning forward a bit more. Either way, we're training the glutes with these. And again, for balance purposes, having one dumbbell might make it a little easier. Again, you can have something to cut the brace, hold on to, like holding onto the wall. I find it easier to have two dumbbells, one in each hand, kind of as counterweights, but that's if you have the perfect setup. If you don't have that, you can also set up just fine using the bench. Again, height-wise, you want about mid-shin. The thing with the bench, especially the bench is this wide, but it's kind of awkward to have the foot like this or like this. So I'll kind of go toes here. A bit more of a balancing act. But you can also set it up like so with the foot off the back. Then the shin starts to hit. Shift a little bit forward. Foot like so. One of my all-time favorites for glute isolations, cable machine, is a cable pull-through. These are going to be much like RDLs, just using cable resistance, like smooth throughout the entire resistance profile. So, you want a tricep rope set up like so. At the bottom here, take a few steps out. Rope right between the thighs, hard to chafe. So make sure you either wear sweatpants on this, long shorts, spandex, whatever. The feet rotated slightly outwards. Then from here, we're simply doing our hip hinge, allowing the rope to pull us back through, like so, and then squeezing powerfully through. stretch and squeeze here is important for the glutes and hamstrings. And then thrusting through, that is when we're maximally contracting our glutes, like so. So I try and let just my hands be what's rubbing on my shorts. Otherwise, it can be kind of uncomfortable repeating, like so. With this one, be sure to really pause the top of your contraction. Let it take you through nice and slow. Squeeze forward, don't rush through these. Another staple that I use a lot, especially when I was having my knee pain, is these cable lateral rotations. Cable hip abductions. Put it down a bit here. So, like so, we got a nice cuff attached to the ankle, holding onto here for stability. We're simply going to let the weight take us across. Try and kick all the way out. Reframe that glute, maximally contracted here. Stepping a little further so we can get some cross-body tension and stretch, like so. To make these a little better, actually cross this foot over in front, and kick out here so you can get a little bit more glute extension. Also with some abduction, you can get fancy here, so crossing, bringing this foot over in front, like so. And really feel that stretch, try and keep this leg as straight as you can. Kick out, like so. But again, it's also easiest, just pure abduction right here again, keeping this knee straight, and a longer lever arm for us. These are challenging. You can start with the cuff up around the thigh, so it's a shorter lever arm, also adjusting your weight. With these, I love to do these in a bit of a circuit style. So when we're here, this leg we're balancing on, much like our single RDL, is also working. Glute med is contracting to keep us up. This glute med is contracting actively. This one isometrically. So you can do a circuit, 10 of these on this side, and then turn and face 110 hip flexion. Face 110 adduction now, and then turn and face 110 extension. So whole time on this left leg asymmetrically contracting the glute just to keep you up. So it's a 2-for-1 bang for your buck. Again, these are isolations, finishers. These are not something to do just entire workouts. Do towards the end after you've exhausted your moves. But let's also go over the extension. This is a great way to train the glute max. Isolation fashion. So like so, holding onto the cable, you're simply going to kick back. The key is to try and keep the leg as straight as you can. Kick back, maximum down to the top here. Like so. Now it's natural when you come back, the foot's going to kind of externally rotate, and that's fine because the glute max, it's not pure extension. It's also going to do a little bit of that external rotation. So I don't know if you can see it here, I can certainly feel it. If I go here, yeah, I feel a contraction in the glute. But if I come here, rotate it, I feel every one of those fibers light up. And again, standing on this one leg for that entire duration, my glute's already burning. Just from showing you guys as I'm demonstrating it without actually going through a full set. So, great ones to add in for your isolation. Now there are also some machines, some gyms have like a glute kickback machine where it's a plate and you kick back. That's just fine. Again, with the knee bent, it's going to be good. Knee straight, you get a little bit more torque, leverage to the glute. Both are going to be good. I really prefer the cable machine just because of the tension and the resistance profile of the entire range of motion. The last, probably most important glute isolation exercise is going to be the hyperextension. There are two different ways to perform this. Both are going to train the glutes. One should bias glutes slightly more to low back extensors. Again, nothing wrong with training low back. So here's option number one. And again, nothing wrong to do with that. This one.
I'm not sure what to do with my hands.
It'd be good just to hold them down by your side. Yeah.
Not using any weight, but I just have my hands behind my head. Versus Again, maybe arms across the chest for this one, or hand behind the head. Very subtle difference, but what you notice in the first one is that I go through the full motion going into that low back extension, lumbar extension. The second one, we stop where the hips stop. We're simply flexing and extending with only the glutes. So biasing a little more glutes, maybe saving a little bit of the low back. Both are fine. Let's show you from the side so you can appreciate the difference. All right, so this is kind of a regular hyperextension. Like so, squeezing the glutes through the hamstrings, but also the lower back. My thighs nice and tight to the pad, coming up like so. Or we're going to come here, rounding at the hips, extending with the glutes, really maximally squeezing here. That's all I'm getting. That bit of motion right there is all low back extensors. So just glutes. This is all it takes. This subtle motion right here. Of course, we're going to want to add some load to this. I like to either use a kettlebell or a dumbbell. We've already done it in front of this. So with this, having it in front of you, and have someone hand it to you. You can also just get it like so yourself, holding onto both sides. You can also, for grip, hold on just to the middle. That's kind of what I like to do. Everyone like so. Again, like any other movement, maximal squeeze, slow, lower. You feel that stretch, pause, squeeze up, slow, pause, squeeze. And just for final demonstration, so you can appreciate the difference. Coming from here, you can see glutes and hamstrings activated. And then you could also see, if I pull this up here, it's going to be low back that takes over, versus if we just stay in this pocket right here, glutes are just maximally squeezing. When I do these, I essentially like to imagine that I'm doing an RDL, because basically my hips are pressed into the pad, hinging over the pad, and I'm extending back up, right? So it'll be the same if I'm here, squeezing up, and I kind of take that same bit, literally kind of press my thighs into the pad as hard as I can, pushing against it, doing that same kind of thrusting up motion. So if this wasn't here, it would look like I'm here. I'm powerfully bringing the hips through as I squeeze and contract the glutes. That is it for the glute isolation exercise. I'm telling you guys, these are a burner. Just from doing a few demonstrations I did, my glutes are on fire. And honestly, I probably got a good extra glute workout in just from filming these videos. So hopefully finding those tips helpful. Make sure to like and subscribe.